Mountain Wellness. I am Henry Gaston, certified health and life coach, and I am so thrilled. Today I had an excellent conversation with Happy Keller. She's an incredible therapist, and we're going to talk a little bit about her innovative approach to therapy, which has proven to be effective for a diverse range of individuals. Happy Keller's therapeutic methods have garnered acclaim for her adaptability and efficacy across various populations. From adolescents navigating the complexities of identity to adults striving for personal growth and fulfillment, Happy Keller's approach resonates with people from all walks of life. Her expertise extends beyond traditional therapy, encompassing the mindfulness practice, visualization, and other ways and modalities, but a holistic approach to wellness. And we talked about so many different things about the state of therapy and why it's needed in the world today, what people need to do, the 5 ways or 5 modalities towards wellness taken from the Asian perspective. We talked a little bit about Shinrin-yoku and grounding and earthing, and why all of these things, all of these modalities help individuals towards wellness in ways that medicine, the chemicals, can't. So I really hope you enjoy talking or listening to our conversation with Happy Keller. And if you like this information, if it's of any value to you, please hit the like button and subscribe, because we've got so many other things. So I'm so happy to have Happy Keller with us today. Happy Keller, welcome to Crush Your Mountain.
It's a pleasure to be here, Henry. Thank you so much for inviting me.
You know something? Once we got a chance to connect and learn how much we have in common, you're practically family. And it's good to have family to share and to talk about things, especially a subject that's really kind of deep and growing in its necessity and population or popularity, as this subject is. So tell me something. What inspired you to pursue therapy, and then why do you believe therapy is essential in today's society?
Let's put it like this. I watched my friends. Stress can change people. And I watched a lot of my friends get sick. I got sick, but we didn't know that it was stress, underlying stress, anxiety. We drank tablets, we went to doctors. And then I just started thinking, there must be something different out there. There must be we can't be drinking tablets for the rest of our lives, just let's try something else. And then I started, like my kids, experiment with my favorite subjects, my kids. Yeah. And then, and as the years went by, I got more and more interested. And now it's so important, mental wellness. There's a pandemic going on out there. We have to step up the game.
Yes.
Something has to change.
Yeah. It's so interesting that you should say that, because nowadays, especially in the States, during the pandemic and the various political upheavals, major companies now are actually making that part of the benefits package a little bit more so. They're bringing in companies like BetterHelp to address the needs of individuals, because they realize that. So in your experience, what are some common misconceptions that people have in terms of therapy, and then how do you address them in your practice?
Many people think there's nothing wrong with me. Okay, you know what? There's something wrong with that, Henry. There can be nothing wrong with me or anybody in my family. So all of us are hiding. All of us are pretending we are okay. So this pretense is growing bigger and bigger. And mental health has been like a stigma. You don't tell people there's something, you know what? There's something wrong with my daughter. No, you don't. You zip it.
Mm.
But now we need to unzip. We need to start talking and admitting, I'm not okay, and look for help. And that's what we need to do. Just start being honest.
Yeah, yeah. I had an interesting experience some years ago working with this one person, and it was a person in our community, and what was going on was they were having a mental break. They were actually moving into a state of violence against their family members. They were clearly a danger to themselves and others. And for some reason, I guess it being the somewhat rural community
Yeah.
that they were in, no one seemed to want to do anything about it. But had they not done something, had something not been done, this person could have killed their siblings because they were threatening to do so, and they could have killed themselves because they were threatening to do so. So unfortunately, in some areas, like you said, you don't talk about it. Somehow you think it'll blow over, and somehow it will go away on its own. Oh, that's just Uncle Arnie. He likes to walk around with an axe on top of his head. That sort of thinking.
Yeah.
But how do you tailor your therapeutic technologies? Because you have a very unique way. It's okay. In fact, before I ask you that question, let me ask you this. Would you agree that the whole system when it comes to psychotherapy is a bit of, I wouldn't call it a racket, but it's kind of prolonged for the sake of profit?
Okay, I'm not saying anything without my lawyers. No, I'm not, you know what, I'm not going to walk that road because I'm sure there are many who have walked that road before me. We have to look at what's right in front of us and try to work with what's right in front of us. Let's not stop, just going for the bigger picture, because there are enough bigger pictures, others out there who are doing what they can. So whatever I'm doing, I should look around my environment and try to start there, one person at a time. Because if I start talking about others and saying, because it's not a good thing. Let's just support each other and do what's good. Move.
I get that. I get that. That makes perfect sense, because individuals, is people do the best that they can in any given
Yeah.
circumstance, and they learn. And in some cases, and if not many cases, we can argue that individuals need um, time. Okay, and a lot of the therapies out there involve time. But on the other hand, we do know that sometimes there are medications that are used that they're meant to be used for a short period of time, and patients wind up on those same things for years, which cause other side effects.
I was watching a TV show the other day, and actually I can't remember what it was. The speaker said the medications that are there on the market are not meant to cure you. Okay? They're not meant to cure you. They're meant to help you deal with whatever it is. So now, if you're not going to be cured, which means it's long term. So what I advocate and what I thought about was, I am sick and tired of seeing the same people. If somebody calls you after 6 months, what happened? Oh, I'm having this and that. No, they shouldn't call you. Don't call me. You should be okay. You should have enough tools in your toolbox. to deal with whatever it is, but you're okay. You're okay. And this is where we should be. I know it's a bit far-fetched, but it's real.
I don't see that that is being far-fetched. Because I was listening to a report too, and they were saying that, again, the medication part is a therapeutic tool that was intended to be a short-term tool. Okay, and the downside is that these medications tend to cause side effects on the overall. Okay, weight gain, suicidal thoughts.
Yeah.
I know a young fellow who at 8 years old was on 4 different medications, and he was suicidal for years. They changed his medication, gave him, I think, a 5th one, and then he became homicidal. You see what I'm saying?
God.
Yeah. So he got off of just about all of them, except for the one that actually dealt with the condition that was not going to change. You see, and he's much more functional. He's not perfect, but as a young person, he's much more functional. And so the idea is, yes, there is that challenge with, and that brings us back to how you help people. How do you tailor your techniques to meet the needs of different populations, or just your clients in particular?
So, and the assumption is, Henry, the assumption is the body can heal itself. We are made in such a way that the body can repair itself. So now if the body can repair itself, there must be a switch somewhere. You switch it on, you flip it on, and then you have the body starts doing its regenerative process. I burnt myself. I was cooking the other day, and I burnt myself and had this black scab on it. So now this is 2 weeks later. It's a bit lighter. The black scab fell off, and it's on the way to toning, like the same color. So now I'm looking at that and say, you see, we can regenerate. So why can't the human being, and maybe it has to start somewhere. You say something or you do something, and then the process starts. So it was an assumption, but actually there are lots of coaches out there these days who are saying your thoughts matter. Every day, what you put in your head is what comes out. So every day I had somebody call me today, a friend, and he sent me a picture and he said, oh, look at my gray hairs, I'm aging. I'll be like my forefathers. I said, stop that nonsense of saying, hanging out with your forefathers. You're 59. What forefathers are you? I said, keep on talking like that, and all the white hairs will be on you in another 2 months. You should hang out with, wake up and I say, I am young. I am, even if it's a lie, but the brain will follow your thoughts. So with that assumption, if we teach, or rather I started to create things where I just assume the body can heal itself. You just have to talk to the person and the person will find out. I don't need to suggest anything. I don't need to hypnotize. It's just a conversation. And they know actually where the switch is. I'm just chatting with them. They know. And that switches on. And then you find they start to feel better and better and better the same day.
Now, I'll tell you in full disclosure,
Yes.
I had the privilege of experiencing a bit of Happy's techniques, and it is an amazing process. And she calls it very humbly a conversation, but it is, but it's a guided one. And in that guidance, she leads an individual through the dark moments of their experience, like a guide in the forest. I just went through, did my did my forest bathing this morning, Shinrin Yoku forest bathing this morning. So I'm still just aglow with the forest. So I'm using that metaphor. And she leads them through this forest and gets them out into the light on the other side. So yeah, it's something that does work. Can you so how do you integrate your mindfulness practices, because you utilize that in your therapy sessions, and what benefits have you observed from from this approach with your clients?
The thing is, when they have a therapy session, so we only do it once. So the therapy session is once, and then they're fine. So they basically, it's like, how would I, when they call me, I don't tell me anything about you, because now I'll start judging you. So on the day of, pick up the phone and we'll just talk. You're not hypnotized. There's nothing like that. But the thing is, on that day, we are going to find you. Everything that is scattered, most of us have lived lives, your confidence, you're broken here, somebody said this, and you're walking through life. Your joy has gone, your happiness has gone, all this, your gratitude has gone. But on that day, while we talk, and as you said, walk through this forest, we're going to find those pieces. We're going to find the joy, the happiness, the confidence, and then we're going to walk out. And then I'm handing you a suitcase and we're putting all that inside. And I'm saying, go and now write your story. So these people start writing their own stories. Now, if you're happy, why are you calling happy? So people don't rarely call me afterwards, except for referrals. Hey, I know somebody who could use, and that's what it should be like.
Or they could just call you just to thank you, I guess.
Yes, they thank me enough on that day, and then yeah. I don't want to over exaggerate my, no, I'm so grateful that they're able to go and walk on their own, Henry. It's really an honor, a privilege to see somebody who was not well for years, and just get up. They know they can make it. So that's my payment. Don't call me back.
Well, that's a beautiful thing. Now, here's some things I noticed that you mentioned I really value in terms of the lack of wellness and the connection with the body and the mind. Because you say they lost their happiness, they lost their joy, you see, and all those emotions have physical manifestations in the body. You say the brain doesn't know the difference between reality and unreality, truth and untruth, so to speak.
Correct.
And that is true because there was a study done by one of the founders of the mindfulness movement, and this happened back, I think, in the 70s or 80s. And what she did is she took several different men, older gentlemen, and she put them, did you hear about this study? She put them in, I think, in a monastery or a hotel or somewhere, and had everything decked out to 20 years before, when they were younger. Even the music that they piped in was the music of 20 years ago. Even the newspapers and magazines was from 20 years ago. And they were able to look at things, and instead of saying, I was a carpenter, they would say, I am a carpenter. Instead of saying, I was a chef, they said, I am a chef. And they would go in the kitchen and cook, or they would go out and do wood. They did that for just 1 week. And after just 1 week, they noticed this remarkable change. Their bodies were moving in a younger state. Their minds were functioning at a faster and younger rate. And there were some noticeable differences because a happiness and a joy had come back. And individuals that can maintain that happiness and joy, and those who listen and who read the Bible know that it says that one of the fruitage of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, kindness, all those things,
Mm-hmm.
not just have not just spiritual things, but they're also things that have a physical manifestation that make a human well.
Mm-hmm.
It's a wonderful thing to see when you're able to take someone and walk them through that and then put that in their suitcase or put that as a cloak upon themselves, and they could come out happy and not call you but run into you somewhere at a big convention or something
Yeah.
like that and say, hey, thank you again. I know
Mm-hmm.
somebody, you know.
Yeah, it's honestly, it's very fulfilling. As
Yeah.
I said, normally people think you get you'll be happier when people call you back and tell you, oh my God, I want to hang around you. No, do not be hanging around me. I'm not your friend.
Okay.
You are well. Please keep moving. Keep on moving. Don't come back.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Live you. That's what I want for people, and it's possible.
Right, right, right. And that makes
But I also wanted to mention at this point, just to come back to what you said. Do you know um, in Eastern medicine, there are five emotion, happiness, joy, peace, gratitude, and what's the other one? Joy, happiness, peace.
gratitude and love.
Anyway, the one I'll remember.
Mm-hmm.
If your body has all five elements, do you know that you have no illnesses?
Wow.
If you ask yourself right now, am I happy? Am I joyful? Am I grateful? Am I at peace? And am I feeling contentment? That's the fifth one. If you can say yes, 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 you will find out that, oh my God, I feel healthy. I'm fine. Those five emotions. No, and they shouldn't be coming from outside. They should be from within. Hmm?
So here's what's interesting about that. I'm going to ask you this. Okay, you mentioned happiness and contentment. So what is the difference between someone who is experiencing happiness as opposed to contentment?
You see, now people, we've got a lot of things around us in our worlds. Yeah, some people, I don't know, have you ever sat on your deck and you're sitting there, maybe just drinking a beer, and you're watching nature, the weather, there's a breeze, and you just feel just this, it's like, I'm satisfied. It doesn't matter what's going on around you, but you just feel this, I'm satisfied. I feel content. I'm okay. Happiness, on the other hand, is the ability, like I wake up in the morning. My husband bought me, I love sunflowers. So we can't have fresh sunflowers everywhere in the house. No, but he bought me one and it was from the dollar store. I saw it in the dollar store. Cheap guy. you know. Anyway, it was out of love. This big sunflower. And it's on my side of the bed. It's on an angle. I open my eyes and I see it. Do you know that it makes me happy? It's like happy. And it doesn't matter whether, oh, I trick a bit there. It's like, and I start smiling. And that has nothing to do with, oh, you know what? I won a jackpot for the day. Oh, I went to dinner there. No, it's just that I'm happy. The child inside me, this child inside all of us, play with that child. Be the child. Being an adult sucks. Yeah. Can we let out that child? And then the happiness comes. And you don't even have to buy the child an ice cream.
They say that there's an old saying that says that we don't play because we have grown old. We grow old because we have forgotten how to play. In other words,
Yes.
and how to be children, you know. And
Yes.
that's one of the things you mentioned, that contentment just sitting back at the deck. Like I said earlier today, I went out to the park and went down to the lake and just kind of stretched and reached for the sky and inhaled and exhaled, did the movements and watched the geese and the blue heron and the eagles, and then some runners as I walked through the forest. Some runners they ran past me and we high fived each other on the way out. I have no idea who these ladies were. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it was an amazing experience just for me because it made me very content.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't know about any other kid, but at one time I was one. Strangely enough, people doubt that, but when I remember those times when you get your favorite dessert, and then maybe mommy and daddy maybe tussle with you and love you and tickle you, and then they tuck you in and maybe they pray with you, and then after they've left and they sort of close the door, you do this little scan of your body, and I remember this so clearly, and I would say to myself at that point, I feel fine. And it was just that's how I can describe contentment for me.
Mm-hmm.
And today, being out just for those moments, and I do try to do that every morning, for that one, just go pray, to breathe, do some movement, enjoy the environment. And there's a point where I just say, I feel fine.
Yeah.
And you can get on with the day. Nothing else matters, you know? And I think so many people miss that. So many people need that. Would you agree with me then that giving that one-off therapy that helps them to move forward allows them now to find those 5 modalities of health?
Yes, they do. Because they realize they have the power in their hands. They have the power. The happiness is not because somebody said, oh my God, Happy, you're looking good today. No. You know what? My happiness, I have to brush my teeth. But I'm saying, Happy, we woke up today. Isn't that amazing? It's a wreck. And I haven't eaten breakfast. I haven't, all those. No, it's just, I'm alive.
Yes.
That's what children do, Henry. Children wake up and, okay, I'll just tell you this little story. So now it's just me and my husband at home. And I remember when the kids were smaller, you know how kids come they jump onto your bed, you're sleeping, and then they go like that, they open your eyes and they're saying, are you awake? Are you, and you know, do you know, it's so funny, old as I am or young as I am, remember I said I'm 38 and I'm not saying anything without my lawyers. So I wake up and I'm looking at him lying there and I go to him and I go like, are you awake? I'll go like, and I'll go, okay. And I'll pull oh, the eye oh, and then he's laughing. Do you know? I mean, we are the adults. No, he is laughing. And then I say, and then he turns the other side. Then I go, and I look at it, I said, are you awake? Now that's the child. But I've set the day in that happy mode. And we didn't buy any Gucci shoes. We didn't buy any Prada. No, it's something we have within us. You have the power to turn on the switch. You turn on your happiness, your contentment, and gratitude. Learn to be thankful. When we're thankful, grateful, even just for, I don't know, mundane things, the toothpaste. You know what? My teeth are not falling out. I brush them every day. Little things, you will find joy just creeps into your house, and then you're content. and then you're happy, and all these things, and it just keeps on spreading, and then you look younger.
We're, we're going to have to name this episode "Finding Happiness with Happy Keller." But that's so very true. So when we think about working with individuals, with the it's actually almost a sacred duty that we care for ourselves,
Mm-hmm.
And finding that time to play, finding that time to be joyful, to look at the sky, look at the rainbows, look at the clouds, and to cast off those that rucksack of negative emotions, because they'll just siphon it off for us. It'll just almost like a vampire suck away the joy, as opposed to keeping us happy and alive and closer to health and wellness.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So when to young ones or teenagers who might be experiencing challenges, we have so many different things that kids are going through. I mean, you have school shootings, you have political upheavals on campuses throughout the United States, and I think even Canada, and that's where you are. You're up there in Canada. How can we help individuals to take some time to step back from all of this stuff that goes on in them, and that's stressing them out? What steps can we advise them before we send them to you?
You mentioned the Bible before. People talk about God as a solution, but there's it's called the book of nature. You see what you did. Just go out there and just let your eyes roam on the blue skies. We are not teaching our children that. We are not teaching our children to go out and play. We are teaching our children to, your video games. The whole day they are on whatever it is. No child is out there in the garden playing. My children came to visit. They are adults. Yes, I've heard it before. And we were sitting on the deck. Oh, yes. My God, I looked at them. It was in the afternoon. I was watering the garden. And I thought to myself, they're even older than I am. I just took that hosepipe and I just sprayed them all, And it was like, go out there, just be kids. Stop trying to be adults. And adults, we should stop buying our kids. We shouldn't, bribing them with games and then not being there. Find that moment. Even, kids are very interesting. Even if you just spend 30 minutes one-on-one a week, but it's my time. Me and dad, me and mom, it's my time. Oh my God, now they don't need to come to me because they feel valued.
Absolutely. I was just on the phone with my boy. He's in another state, and we talk so much about his growing up with me.
Mm-hmm.
And the one thing he used to love to do is hide behind the sofa, and so that when I came home, he could jump out at me. And then our ritual was to go down to the playground, and we would wrestle and just play and just run around and just enjoy,
Yeah.
And sometimes we as adults do forget how to do that.
Yeah.
And and of course there's a balance, but
Yeah.
If we're at home, if we have households, we have family, it's taking the time to see each other. We gotta go through the day. in the office and shuffling papers. We're making phone calls. If we're in some areas, we're building products or putting products and running machinery of all sorts. And we've got to deal with that type of stress. And we're trying to figure out what is going on and why. And then we get off of that. And it's so easy to carry all of that home. Well,
Yeah.
instead, now is the time to release all that energy by getting out in the backyard. You can do some gardening. Why don't you just grab the kids and play a little bit? Why don't you just take the kids out and instead of going to the mall for a walk in the sunlight. Catch those red rays after you
Yes.
you know. And I know I'm not being entirely fair because we have individuals that do shift work and things are a lot different then. And there's a balance that has to come in there as well. So just to address that, with just how can we help individuals who have that type of shift work, even rotating shifts, because that was not designed with a healthy human being in mind. It was designed for the soulless, psychopathic thing called corporation. So, okay, hey, I'm not saying anything new. Keep it, we keep it real.
It's for real.
You see,
it's for real.
So we have to look at, so those individuals, now they're working third shift and they're getting off during the day. Well, now they still have to deal with the family. So how do we work with that? Okay, would you say that takes a little bit more organization on their part?
It does. Again, I say, those 30 minutes, even if it's once a week, you're coming from your night shift, you sleep a bit, you wait, you just that half an hour, and it's a one-on-one with each of the kids. Don't bundle them together. No, make them feel special. Half an hour. Okay, we're going to walk down there, you and me, nobody else. And then you'll find they open up. You find their attention goes down. You find they're able to deal with it, but you need to work one-on-one. And then I think we'll get somewhere. And another thing that you also said is people don't, in Kenya, there's a clinic where you walk in and it's barefoot. Do you know that people are charging people to walk barefoot in that hospital and people are getting better? Earthing. Just take off those shoes, take off those slippers, walk on that grass, walk in the sand, just 15, 20, it elevates the mood. You sleep better, your anxiety, barefoot, 15, 20 minutes a day. I'm telling you, you don't need me. Try it.
Wow, you just kind of brought a whole thing, brought things back into my sphere of influence, because one of the things I talk about and I try to do also is grounding. With many of my clients, I take them out into the park and we do our breath work and we do our movement, but we also take our shoes off.
Yes.
Now, for those of us that may not be aware of this, but we are electrical beings. We have current that is generated. The heart generates an electrical field that spreads 3 feet out from the body.
Yeah.
Okay. And the thing about it is all electricity seeks ground. That's the circuit, so to speak. So what's happened? We have these shoes, and I like my All-Stars too, okay? And don't talk about my Giorgio Brutini shoes and my Floor Shine shoes. I like my stuff now. However, when you have the rubber soles, that's insulating and keeping it from the electricity from finding ground. That's again a challenge. Now, for those that may have questions about that, you can go to earthingmovie.com. I did not make the movie. You can come to my website where I do have a link to that movie, and you'll see how, again, medical conditions are healed over time just by a person's connection to the earth. you know. And so that's one of the things that we'll be doing a little bit later on in the year. There's something happening in this year. Uh, and one of the things with our Shinrin Yoku, the forest bathing, what's included in that is connecting to the earth along with our walking forest meditation, along with our breath work and movement. We're doing that as well. So we're really harnessing the power of nature to build our wellness. And so that's right, and so that's so important. So you got me excited going about talking about all this good stuff, you know.
Yeah, and remember, it's free.
Yeah,
Walking out there without shoes, you don't have to pay for it.
that's true.
Just take them off, look for a patch of sand. If you don't, if you live in an apartment block, okay, you may not, just walk down to the park, take off your shoes, just those few minutes. Walk with the kids, walk with your husband. You know what? You'll find even the couples, they quarrel less when they've got no shoes on and they are walking on the ground. Amazing things, simple things.
If you're in the city and you're in the park, just watch where you step, folks.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay,
Absolutely.
yeah, okay.
Absolutely. Yeah, just be careful where you walk in that grass, okay? But there is truth in that because all that negative energy now is can seep out, and
Yeah,
you can see each other in different ways. You know,
take the
if
shoes
you're
off.
not going to do a walking meditation, to
Mm.
take pictures of your loved ones in
Mm.
by the trees in the garden, and have that moment, and you can let things dissipate that way. You know,
Mm-hmm.
well, I will say there, Dr. Keller, that your first name lives up to who you are and what you have brought to our program today. You have indeed made us all very happy. And
Thank you.
we have one more question that we have to
Yes.
ask you before we close out. I ask
Okay.
this question of all my guests. So even though you are special, this is not a this is a special moment, and in that I am asking it to you. So Happy
Okay.
Keller, what does it mean to you to crush your mountain?
What does it mean to me to crush my mountain? If I find obstacles, something is blocking me. I have a goal, and now something, now I've got two choices. I can either try to climb that mountain or I can go around it. Or I can stand in front of it and twiddle my thumbs. But you know what I say? I say, mountain, I'll be back. Okay? I'll touch the mountain and I'll say, problem, whatever situation it is, maybe I may have done something to upset you, situation, whoever you are, please forgive me. I'm really sorry. I love you, whoever you are, but now I need to move forward. And I take a deep breath. And do you know that honestly taking that deep breath and walking away from the situation for just an hour or two, go and sleep, switch off, drink a cup of tea, do something totally, you'll come back and your brain will be refocused. And now you'll know, oh, actually there was a hole in the mountain. I didn't even have to do anything. I didn't see. And then you walk through. So that's how I crush my mountains.
Telepathically making the tunnel.
Exactly. I was the tunnel the whole time. But you were so busy focused on, oh, it's hard. You know what? It's you who's making it hard.
So many ways that's so true. You know, like
Yeah,
I tell everybody so many times, you know, stop looking at the walls, look at the
yeah,
doors. You see, sometimes we look at so many obstacles, so many
yeah.
challenges. You see, and the idea again, you can just work at it. You find that your path through is working at things step by step. But the idea is, you know, taking that step back, as you say, okay, doing that rest, getting the sleep, proper sleep, all of that
Mhm.
can bring things into the proper focus. Paul Simon had a song out some years ago, and they say, "Why don't we sleep on it tonight, and then we'll figure it out."
Yeah.
That wasn't just the song. The song was something totally different, but that one point stood out to me. You see, I'm just so glad that we were able to hear to touch base this way and share on these things and talk so deeply about what you do, but how it relates to the bigger picture of how individuals really need this type of thing right away in this day and age. How people have other the therapies that they can go to that might be prolonged, it might be take a little bit longer, but of course people need things according to their personal needs. And indeed, it's so important that we take the time to get back to the natural state, get ourselves in that state of play, okay, and bring our happiness back and our joy back. And indeed, we want to thank you again, Happy Keller, for being here with us. And I'll tell you, friends, it's so good to have individuals like Happy here with us. One last thing, Happy. Tell us this: where can we find you in case someone wants to reach out to you?
So should I give you my number or?
Well, how about maybe a website or an email or are you one of those clandestine operations that people don't find you, you find them? Or tell us.
You know what? As I said, I work referrals, but still, should anybody want to reach me, it's at HHH Boutique, as in boutique, BOUTIQU @gmail.com.
So now we're going to have to bring you down, you and I would have to call I'm going to call Mr. Keller. His first name is going to be Key to, so it'll be Key to Happiness Keller. See, and so and we're going guys got to bring you down to the city of Oaks so you can so we can just have some fun time and enjoy the North Carolina and its beauty and everything else. And my wife and I will fly up to Toronto one day and
please
experience the nice milder summers that you may have up there. So we got a lot going on, friends. So now, by the way, folks, just to let you know, again, I'll tell you this: the Shinrin-yoku events are going to be taking place towards the end of summer, around the beginning of fall, hopefully when it's cooler. And the idea is we'll have during the mornings and also maybe one in the afternoon, evening. Times when you're dealing with either the beautiful blue light to wake up the brain or in the red rays of the sun to sort of get us in that soothing calmness for the sake of sleep. We'll do our Shinrin-yoku movements. We'll do our movements, it's sort of a qigong sort of thing. We'll also involve ourselves in the breathing. We'll have a gratitude practice to round things out. Of course, we'll do the grounding. All of that's part of that. And if that's something that appeals to any of you, by all means, keep an eye out for things, because I will be letting you know. You can reach me on Instagram. You can reach me on YouTube. You can reach me at henrygassenscoach.com. All of these modalities will let you know what's going on. And as I always say, thank you all so much for watching. Thank again, for being here with us today. As I tell everybody, look, stay happy, stay calm, stay wonderful. Don't just climb a mountain, crush through it. I'll see you next time.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for watching Crush Your Mountain. If this is of any value to you, if you enjoyed the information, if it's even a bit entertaining for you, please like and subscribe. It helps us with the algorithm. Leave a comment. We'd love to know what you think. Whatever content you'd like to see in terms of the directions of this channel, in terms of health, wellness, or personal growth, please drop a line. You can certainly reach me at HanksterOG20 gmail.com, or you can just leave a comment. Either way, thanks so much for watching Crush Your Mountain. And like I always say, don't just climb your mountain, crush through it.